Hey guys, Avery Bird, aka acdramon here, with a brand new video for my brand new series, Rapid Fire Stories, where I tell you some cosplay related things that happened to me over the course of, my timeline as a cosplayer, because, I have some stories, and you're gonna hear them, whether you like it or not. I mean, if you don't like it, you could really actually just turn off the video now. So there is that. For my first story, I'm going to tell you about my experience making a helmet for the first time. Case in point, my Batman Beyond helmet, because this was interesting to make. So it all started when I wanted to make, of course, a Batman Beyond costume, and Batman Beyond kind of doesn't really have a face that you can kind of see. It's usually all black, and I wanted that to meld into my sort of mecha armor Japanese sort of infused version of him. So I decided to make like a cool helmet, and I made a schematic and all that cool stuff. But when it came time to actually make the helmet, so like any other person, I just scrambled on Google, YouTube, and I found Evil Ted Smith. He told me that I could basically kind of buy a head mold of some sort, but I'm cheap. So I didn't buy his head mold. I bought another head mold, which came to bite me in the butt. $15 worth of biting me in the butt. Because when I got it, it was too small. Let me show you. Don't mind him. He's fine. He's okay. He's just been through some stuff. Got some measurements on him. So anyway, this dude ended up being way too small. I tried to measure, as you can see, some patterns on the skull already. And I tried everything that everyone told me to do online. I got paper bags and pinned them to the head and used tape and cut out the tape with the paper bag so I can rip it off easier. And it didn't work because his head was the wrong size. And then I tried to use some, like, masking tape / plastic wrap hybrid that didn't really work. I tried to measure my head, the size of my head to the size of this mannequin so I could compensate for my size. None of it worked. So what I ended up doing was I got one of my old kind of head mask things I used for my Scorpion cosplay, put it on my head, and just taped my head. I went ghetto with that. And I roughly outlined my head, and it worked. But yeah, basically, after I did that, I kind of roughly made it, and then took it to some paper, traced it out a bit more cleanly, and tried to put it on. And it worked. I was like, oh my gosh, this might actually work. I might actually have my helmet. And like any good foam fabricator, and I think any good cosplayer, you don't make your first draft your final draft. I usually go through 2 to 3 iterations before, I kind of have my final. So the first draft was, of course, my first draft. And oh my god, the level of frustration I had making my first draft was crazy. Because even though I had my templates, you have to like bend and shape the foam. And sometimes if you're not very good at it, you tend to mess it up. And that's what I thought I did. I actually have a picture of me wearing my helmet once I realized what was wrong with it, which I'll tell you in a second. Because when I built it the first time, it was not right. Like, it was not fitting on my head. And I was doing this. I was building foam stuff for like an hour. Like, no, not even an hour. Like 3 hours. I was just nonstop building stuff. I was in the zone, but this was like the final thing I needed to do before painting. And I was so frustrated. I was so frustrated that I threw it against the wall. And I just stared at it. You know when you get to that point of just like, you have no words. You just look at, you're that frustrated that you're just like, And then as you look at it, you have an epiphany. Because then you're like, wait, no. I glued it backwards. I glued the sides on wrong, is what I did. And so I was like, oh man, this is great. Because First of all, I know that I glued it on wrong, so the second iteration I do will be correct. But then I gotta make sure the first iteration still is fine to make sure I'm completely right about this. So I had to tear it apart, which I was super scared to do because I used contact cement. And you know, if you're a foam fabricator, you know how hard that is to kind of rip off. Luckily, I did it kind of terribly because that was my first draft. I didn't need to be clean with it. So I tore it off, put it back on, and like I said, I actually have a picture of myself wearing the helmet, looking all derpy. Please don't turn that into a meme. Please don't. I'm already a meme on Twitter. Don't make me a meme, please. I ended up, taking it to this build, kind of mapping out these parts, made a mouth part, and made kind of the bias. It's a little, tight, but that's good or bad depending on the situation. But next helmet I do, I'm definitely kind of bringing this out a bit more. I'm planning on doing Genji from Overwatch because fucking Overwatch, bruh. So basically what I learned from building this helmet for the first time is to never give up and try to solve whatever you need to do, because when that con crunch comes, you don't have a choice, and if all else fails, throw it at a wall in anger. That was it for my story on how I built my first helmet. Hope you like it, and I hope you like this series. I'll try to do a bit more. This is going to be a little bit quicker, so this will kind of keep the ball rolling with my cosplay videos, so I'm not doing tutorials and all that stuff, because sometimes they're not up for tutorials. So I hope you, like I said, like this, and if you like this video and like my channel, you should subscribe. I heard it's good. I heard subscribing is nice. You should do it. All the cool kids, all the kids are doing it apparently. Is what I say. I'm Avery Bird, aka acdramon, and I'm signing out.